So I know I wasn't making videos in a while. I mean, I made them like every day for a while, and then I sort of stopped. So I'm just trying to do a little one this morning. I'm out for a walk early because it's gonna be, it's already humid, but it's not too hot. If the sun's not on you, it doesn't feel too bad. So I'm gonna try to get a quick walk in and then see about doing my lawn. Because I'm gonna be out of town from Thursday evening to Sunday morning. That's when I'm gonna go up to make a visit to DC and do some touristy things. And so it'd be good to get everything tidy before I left. Which reminds me, I also need to give Avery a good brushing and a bath. She's gonna stay with a friend. I'll drop her off Thursday afternoon and then go over to the train station, park my car there, and take the train up. But, you know, aside from it being a little bit warm and humid this morning, it's actually not bad. This is the street where those houses on that side sit right above Riverside Drive and have a nice view of the river. It's weird. Houses on that side of the street are Riverside Drive. Houses on that side of the street are Hill Drive, which is kind of funny. It's fun to walk up here though, because I'll show you in a sec. That house there has a really neat, like, gully there that goes down to the, you can't even see the river. Oh, barely. It's too bright. It's running kind of low. We've had some rain, but actually not as much as the past couple years, but I think that's also why this summer so far, even though it's been humid, it's not nearly as humid as it was last summer. So, yeah. So they just built that house like last year. This was an empty lot for the longest time. Another neighbor told me, she's been in the neighborhood for like, I don't know, 30 or 40 years, that this lot and the two next to it have water issues, and that's why they've never built there. But there's been a lot of like storm drain stuff they've done, so it's a nice looking house, if not a little bare compared to the rest of the neighborhood, but hopefully they'll be doing some plantings and gardening there because they get awesome light. I'm jealous of their light. Okay, almost back home. I'll show you the garden real quick before I go in, have my tea, and then come back out to tidy up my yard a bit. I think there are supposed to be some storms later in the week. I watered yesterday, so it should be okay. But I'll show you how everything's kind of like going all over the place. The sunflowers. Oh, look at that. Is that a dragonfly? Oh, there he goes. Yeah, everything's doing okay. I have to get at this quote-unquote driveway because the wildness is encroaching, and that's going to be harder and harder to get at. I was spraying everything with neem oil this morning because of these stinking Japanese beetles. You can see how they've gotten this little bush cherry. Figs, lots of figs on there, but nothing's getting ripe yet. And I've been pulling out, oh look, there's some red sunflowers too. A neighbor gave me that sunflower and said, oh, it's a red sunflower. I'm gonna have to tell him, no, it's a yellow one. I've been pulling out the poppies. I've saved some of the pods, and some I've just put back in the ground. Here's the roselle. They're finally getting a little bit of growth on them. Random corn that grew there, which is kind of hilarious. The anacissup is getting close to being done, and in fact this one doesn't look so good, and I may actually take this one out because there's stuff behind it that can grow. All the yellow cone flower, and there's some regular echinacea, mullein, birds and squirrels are probably eating that sunflower, which is what I kind of leave them for. Let's go up here. St. John's wort's still giving little flowers. All these poppies are going to have to come out. That massive squash. I'm getting a little bit of chilies and peppers. The deer really seem to like my okra there. Oh well. Still picking a few beets. Letting the safflowers go to seed here. Gonna have to cut back this marshmallow soon. It's looking a little bit tired there. What do we have? These guys keep flopping over. These are those little sunflowery guys. Let's see. There's the angelica, and the tansy's starting to bloom. Other years, have always tried to give it support to keep it standing up, and this year I'm just letting it flop. It's like, why should I bother? Here's one of these guys blooming with a bee eating in there. Love those. The nasturtium doesn't like it when it's too hot, but if it can keep going until the fall, then it usually bounces back. Delphinium. Poor rhubarb. I'm still trying with the rhubarb. There's a lot of things that for the first few years it's like they just have a hard time. Blackberry, getting a few blackberries. And so it's like, okay, I'm just gonna let you be and see if I can support you as best I can and try again next year. My eggplant, even though they don't look great, I've been getting some eggplant, which is fun. The tomatoes have actually been looking pretty good this year, the plants themselves. Healthier than I've had them other years, so that's kind of interesting. These are, I don't know if you've seen, they're green zebras. None of those have ripened. I've gotten a couple of black crim so far, and of course little cherry tomatoes. It's a jungle. It's a jungle back here. Cucumbers that are kind of, I've just had a lot of flea beetles this year, which have been really hard on some of the plants. But you know, it's just me. You know, if I can get food to eat for myself, that's great. If not, I'm feeding the davas and the birds and the, you know, whatever, the spirit of the garden. And every year I think about how I can make it a little bit better. The Japanese beetles have kind of decimated my methyl plum, so I was spraying some neem oil this morning. You poor thing, you poor thing. My little persimmon back here is putting on some growth though, which is kind of cool. This is one of the Japanese, this is the Japanese persimmon. I have an American persimmon out back, but it's actually got a little bit of new growth up at the top here, which is nice. I'm leaving all the elderberries for the birds this year. I don't really need them. I've got some dried, I've got tincture, I've got like cordial. So here's my yuzu that I haven't planted yet. I need to find where to put that. And that's it. I'm gonna go inside and have my tea, and then I guess head back out here. You can see that the lawn needs a little, well, maybe to you it doesn't look like it, but I know, but by the time I get back next week, it's better to get at it now. And it's always good to come back to a nice, neat garden. So I hope you all have a good Tuesday.